Hello everyone, you're welcome once again to the Bolaji Jegede show, the greatest show on global TV. Let me use this opportunity to congratulate you all for making it into the new year. And this is going to be our fourth episode for the new year. And today I would like to give an address to Nigerians on the new year. For all our new viewers, my name once again is Bolaji Jegede. I'm the MD and CEO of Stone Group of Companies. I'm also the host of the Bolaji Jegede show. Stone is into training, consulting, real estate, oil and gas, community development, and that's something we do as a matter of passion. I would like to let you know a few things that we need to put in mind as we go into this new year. And I want to assure you that 2015 will be a great year in the history of this country. 2015, no doubt for me, will usher in great times, which we have all prayed for. And today, Nigeria is said to be 100 years old. Indeed, these 100 years have been a mix of pain and gains, but I want to assure you by the revelation of God that God is saying the next 100 years will be a time of prosperity for this nation. So this next 100 years will be a time for Nigeria to indeed dominate the world, and indeed it's important for us to take it in our own stride. The next 10 years will be indeed Nigeria's rise to glory, because what God said to me in 2011 was that by the year 2025, Nigeria will be the greatest nation in the world, and indeed the most sought after nation in the world. However, it's very important that we know that we will not get to that promised land except by hard work. So indeed, we need to pray hard, and we need to also work even harder. We cannot permit mediocrity in any form except hard work, particularly in the area of leadership and also followership. We must take the next 100 years, like I said, in our own stride. The next 10 years will indeed determine how far we will get and whether or not we will actually achieve the vision for Nigeria. It is very important that we are clear in our minds that the journey will not necessarily be easy, but indeed collectively we have to do a lot of work to achieve the purpose of God for this nation. Later in the year, I'll be unveiling the Vision 2025, which states what we need to do in the next 10 years, so that by 2025, as the Lord has spoken, indeed Nigeria will be the most sought after country in the world. In my book coming up, titled Vision 2025, Nigeria's Rise to Stardom, I would highlight all the things that we will be doing as revealed by the Spirit. Again, let me reiterate, it's going to be a lot of hard work, because this revolution is going to be an intellectual revolution. On the economy, which is quite paramount to all of us now, it's a known fact now that the price of crude oil has gone from about $115 to less than $60 a barrel as of now, which is going to bring a lot of economic hardship on everyone, because our country is a mono economy that depends only on crude oil. And so basically we are currently seeing more like a half of our revenue fizzle out into the wind. So basically it's going to be some challenging times, particularly from this new year. What this cut in revenue entails definitely will be inability of the government to pay salaries, job cuts, reduced allocation for capital projects, of course economic hardship for the citizens. We are likely to see protests on the streets. Indeed, also have likelihood of increase in crime rates, as people will be finding it tough to make a living. So on an individual and both on the government level, we need to be able to do a few things. I'll quickly address what government needs to do. It's important for government to diversify the economy, and indeed the problem we've had is because we have running a mono economy. So it's important for the government to begin to look at areas of agriculture more keenly, tourism, information communication technology, manufacturing needs to be improved in this country. We need to look more into our extractive industry. Oil is not all we have. There's gold, there's tin, there's iron ore. There's a lot of mineral resources in this country that are still untapped that the government needs to begin to tap immediately. We need to look at construction. Construction holds a key to a lot of job creation. We also need to look more intensely into our education system. Fashion and entertainment holds a lot of promise. Also, the area of sports. All this needs to really be explored by the government. The second thing the government needs to do is to reinvent the SME and the MSME in this nation. We've seen a few things being done, but it's also important to actually do a lot more. Another thing we need to look at is for us to begin to refine crude oil in country. Singapore is a case study. They have no crude oil reserve, but today they are one of the largest refining countries in the world. That's a model that can be looked into so that we can produce finished products from crude oil in country. Another thing that will be very key for government to do is to formulate policy and also to implement the policy to ensure that all this that we have said can actually be achieved. Equally, on an individual perspective, it's also important that each individual diversify our own personal economies. So what you need to do as an individual is to identify your passion and indeed your purpose. And when you've done that, then you do whatever it is in line with your passion so that you can have one or two other streams of income. Areas you can look into include, say, fish farming, poultry. You can cultivate maize, cassava, beans, rice. These are all staple foods that we eat on a daily basis. So agriculture is something that individuals need to look at very critically. Also, the small and medium scale businesses, MSMEs, are things that we can look at individually to increase our income stream. On insecurity, I would urge the government to immediately find an end to this Boko Haram menace, which is indeed a threat to national security and the peace of everyone. We have seen efforts, but I do not think those efforts are sufficient. Chibok girls are still nowhere to be found. We urge the government at this point to do a lot more to end this Boko Haram menace. Unemployment. It is important that the government finds a way to generate employment for the people. It's important that the government makes enabling environment possible to also solve power problems, which will indeed catalyze job creation in the economy, and also to reduce barrier entries for people going into businesses. These are things that need to be done as a matter of urgency in this nation. On the 2015 elections, this is an election year, and I urge all Nigerians to be responsible. Your vote is your power. It's important that you vote wisely. Do not be induced with money in any way, because once you sell your vote now, you indeed are selling your future. When you have done that, then you cannot have any right to demand for a better Nigeria. Don't think short term because of the short term gain, but indeed think long term while you are voting during this election. It is important that we vote people who are reliable, who are responsible into positions of authority, both at the presidential, the governors, and the local government, the Senate, and the House of Reps. It is important that we vote wisely and we vote with our conscience. I will not also forget the victims of the Air Asia 8501 disaster. My heart goes to the families of those who lost their loved ones in this mishap. It is my prayer that God will give you all the fortitude to bear the loss. On Ebola, which is causing a lot of problems today in West African sub-region, my sympathies goes to the countries of Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia, where the epidemic is worst felt. So today, over 7,000 people have died across the region, and all hands needs to be on deck in order to end this menace within this year. As an organization, we have done quite a lot of things to assist people with Ebola and those working with companies to help stem the tide of this virus. We have produced lots of educational materials, which today have been produced in about 7 different languages. We have produced materials to aid kids and teenagers to understand the effects of this Ebola virus and how it can be contracted and how to prevent themselves and their families. We have these materials in French, we have them in English, in Yoruba, in Hausa, in Igbo languages. We also have them in Pidgin. We have indeed also sent some of these materials to some bodies working with the African Union to help them with this issue in West Africa. Let me once again give a brief on the Vision 2025 and indeed the platform on which we will be seeking to achieve the Vision 2025 for Nigeria. And that platform is called YANDI. YANDI stands for Youth Action for Nigerian Development Initiative. And that's the platform upon which we will achieve the Vision 2025. This will be a platform where the young people of this country, aged between 15 and 45, will come together to begin to plan and begin to indeed actualize the vision for Nigeria. Today, it is common knowledge that the youths constitute over 75% of the population. And indeed, when we come together, there is nothing that can stop us from taking this nation to the promised land. Details of YANDI and how we will go about lifting Nigeria from the abyss into the mountaintops will be released later in the year when I will be launching the YANDI initiative and indeed the Vision 2025 agenda. Together we shall take Nigeria to the promised land. God bless you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you for listening to this broadcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.